a big dude.
Same.
Yeah.
Josh?
Every time I have a rugby player guest, I'm like, fuck, like this person running at you. And you fucking quick as well.
Yeah.
I was watching all your highlights and I was like, someone that big, that fast, and then you're supposed to play. I was like, I'd just walk off.
People don't expect it.
No, they
Like,
don't.
and then
No,
you
they
think
don't.
I'm quick. Yeah.
That's why I feel like
I would love to see you run. I was
me
going to say,
run.
we should have
I'll
a run.
100% pull a hamstring.
We should have a run in the street, but he's wearing Birkenstocks. But I bet he'll beat you in Birkenstocks.
Guaranteed he'll beat me in
Even
Birkenstocks.
no matter.
If we put him in flippers, he'd still beat me.
Can we do it? This is
No,
how we should start the
I'm gonna
episode.
pull a hamstring.
Dude, so what?
Yeah, no.
What do you mean, so what?
I'll get fired if I pull a hamstring on a podcast.
Evan, why don't you practice today?
Oh,
Well,
yeah, I kind of had a race.
so there's this guy named Tom, and he made me get barefoot and run in the street. Welcome back to Storytime. So we have an announcement today. We have officially signed with Truth Coffee, the greatest coffee in Cape Town in South Africa, arguably within the world. I mean, we could take it that far, right? So today with us is Evan Roos. Evan, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate your time. Evan's a huge coffee fan. We did not know that until like 2 hours ago, and this just worked out beautifully. So we brought Kavares in, the king of coffee from Truth. He's going to be breaking it down for us and taking us through making the perfect cup of coffee for today. So let's get a cup of coffee made, sit down and have a chat. Sweet.
Welcome guys, thanks so much for joining me today. Happy to be part of the story time, and let's see where we go from here. So with me here today, I've got our single origin La Bastida. It's part of our Christmas range. It's a limited edition range from Truth, so Christmas came early guys, I'm going to spoil you here today. Beautiful part about this pack is that it comes as a single origin, but then as well as a blend. So the single origin is how the coffee tastes on its own from the farm. The blend is what we've done to it, added a few extras just to give it that extra twist, Truth's take on things. So we're gonna try the coffee as it is today. All right, Ivan, this is gonna be your takeaway. Just to say, thank you for the URC. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you get coffee.
Rewards for winning. There you go. Keep it up. We've got World Cup next year, China. Okay, so today's coffee is going to be a little bit different from your normal take on things. No more instant coffee, Josh. Those days are behind you.
They don't know. Okay.
Alright, so there's a little bit more intricacies here. You guys are going to help me through it, and then we'll take it from there. Alright. Okay. So let's dose up. You guys don't mind grinding that up.
I see you gave me the shorter one. That was on purpose.
I mean,
You just knew which direction to go and
So
everything.
all of our guys on tour have their own hand grinders.
Oh, really?
Coffee in the aircrafts and stuff. So Thomas is what usually invites me for coffee in the morning, and then as soon as I get there, just hands me this. He's like, you know what to do. Stop grinding.
What?
Yeah, so no, I'm used to it.
Jeez, I had no idea what I was doing, to be honest with you. When do you start?
So it's like smooth. Maybe.
there you go.
Maybe.
That's
How did
it.
Start to go.
No, man.
That's when
Just
know
shows
you're
you
good
the
to go.
Safa squad is strong as shit.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
not here playing games.
There's the same
They're
amount.
winning World Cups.
There's the same amount of coffee in each grinder.
Wait, that's the wrong direction. Other direction.
So what do I go?
No, man, surely not. Did you really get that much done that quickly?
How much coffee do you drink on tour?
Money's close behind it.
No, it's not my first rodeo.
No, man, this is smooth. It's the grinder. I'm gonna be a poor athlete and blame my, yay!
That's the equipment.
There you go.
Yes.
Alright, thank you. So we've dosed up, alright. We're using a standard plunger today, alright. This is your plunger, your French press. It's one of the most common brewing methods that most people have in their house that aren't your instant coffee drinkers. So it's a bit of a stepping stone, but like I said, I've got a few extra tweaks just to bring that extra touch for it. Alright. So, once you've dosed up, I've got my water at 85 degrees because if your water is too hot, the initial contact that it makes with the coffee is going to burn it completely and then that messes it up. So, 85 degrees. So
He knew that. I didn't know that.
So I didn't even flinch. He was like,
Yeah, he's like, guys, I know all of this already. I just flick the little kettle button, then it goes bright blue, and then when it flicks back up again, I'm like, that must be the perfect temperature for coffee.
I mean, technically speaking.
So this is like a little mini stove vibe.
100%.
Sick.
Thermo controlled kettle,
Sick.
courtesy of DHPO. Coming soon.
Yeah. There we go. That's
Alright, so we put in just enough hot water, alright, to cover the surface area, Alright, this is known as steeping or mudding, blooming, and you just give that a stir. Alright, so a very big mistake that most people make is that they just fill the plunger up completely, and then the coffee is just floating around in there, and you do not have a proper blooming or mudding process. Alright, and once you've stirred the coffee, you can just top it up. I'll just clean my spoon because
Look at the efficiency of that. That was sexy right
I'm
there.
that guy. Alright, and then you just top it up. So before you plunge, just close that up to retain the heat. What's nice about this plunge is that it comes with a little timer. So you just fill up the switch and allow it to brew. Happy days.
Sick. Let's hit it. Oh. Welcome guys, welcome back to Storytime, the most comfortable podcast on the planet. We're here today with someone very special. He has had an incredible past 2 years of his career. We're proud of him, we love him, love to see him on TV, love to see him on the field. Evan Roos, thank you so much for coming in today, dude. It's been incredible.
Thanks,
we need
man.
like a background clap for you. There we go, that's cool, I dig that.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, thank you for coming in.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean we've been having, this is our coffee.
That's it.
Thank you so much. Dude, what great timing. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, man.
Enjoy, gents.
Tavares, thank you so much, man. You're
Got
champ.
you.
So you've had a huge year, a huge 2 years, from junior Sharks into Stormers and then Stormers into SA. What has been your experience being in Cape Town, playing for the Stormers at the level you are? The impact that you've made in the game has been incredible. Everyone's saying your name, you run out, everyone cheers. It's the most amazing thing to see that excitement in Cape Town that you've been bringing to the team. So what's that been like so far?
Weird. I must say it's like when I came here, I didn't expect it all to actually play. Just be part of the squad and be back with my family. So things happen quite quick, and like I'm still not used to it. And like, because I went to watch Sevens with my mates this past weekend, and shame, like, after a while I feel bad when we have to stop for a photo or something, and it still like breaks my brain because you don't expect anything, you don't worry, you just want to grab a seat and people actually like recognize, I actually had a hat and sunglasses on, I thought maybe I'll get away with it, but like I never say no for a photo. It's special, and like when I was also a supporter when I was young and stuff. But and it just being, especially in Cape Town, playing for people people in the town, suburbs, all the way up to the Winelands, Paul, Stellenbosch, just to be able to represent them and stuff, and there's all the communities and stuff. It's just such an honour, and what a team to be part of, especially after the URC and everything. It's one day you'll be able to look back and say you're a part of it, and that's quite special.
It's sick, man. There's such a family feel at the Stormers. Obviously, Kitsoff bringing the dad feel. Him and Amy. We love them. Yeah.
I love them. They're like my work parents. So the first time I met obviously I've met Kitsy and everything. I've got two stories. First time I met Kitsy and the first time I met Amy. First time I met Kitsy was I joined the Stormers the Wednesday, started training, and we had a training camp, and we went on training camp, and we had a few drinks the first night, and like if I do have a drink, I'll probably drink whiskey or whatever. Yeah. And not a big brandy fan at all.
I feel you. Neither am I. Yeah.
Chris is like, listen, what do you drink? And I asked him. Well, obviously in my mind, Steven's asking me what I drink. What do you drink? And he said, no, I'll drink a brandy. Like, I'll have a brandy as well. Will you, please? And meanwhile, I remember we like the whole team, like coaches squad or whatever. He's like, ask the barman for 70 brandies.
770.
Yeah, I also thought 70. He's like, no, 70. He said, no, we're a lot of guys. We don't want to.
You're a lot of guys, but you're not 70 guys.
No, we're going to be at max 40. So I don't know where the other 30.
Really?
But that was so special and kind of broke the ice in with the team and everything. And first time I met Amy, we played at DHL Stadium and went to Vasco's afterwards for a post-match function. And
sick.
She walked in there and like I think I knew she was Steven's wife, but I'm still kind of like shy and stuff. And she saw we didn't agree. She walked to us and shit in our heads like, "Jy, jy moet fucking groet as ek hier inloop. Ek is 10 jaar oud as jy moet my tannie noem." And I was like, shit, okay. And I was like, And then from there on, my nickname for her is Mama Amy, because she told
Mama
me
Amy.
you should call me Tanya because I'm 10 years older than you. And I said, okay, I'll keep your word to that. And I'm going to call you.
There we go.
And all her friends as well, they hate it when I was like, hello, Tanyas and stuff. And then they feel old.
Tries are mad.
No,
Yeah.
flip. And then from there on, just got so close with them. They're such special people.
Yeah.
And love them to bits.
So we interrupt this episode to thank our partners, FetSack. FetSack wake up every morning with one goal: to make the world a more comfortable place. Our ultimate goal is to make one-of-a-kind, quality, practical furniture that brings a little extra comfort and ease into your life. So if you're tired of sitting on a shitty couch that's rock hard and you just can't get oozy and comfortable into, come to FetSack, use the discount code below and make your purchase. Thank you, FetSack. Now back to the episode.
Yeah, Amy's extremely intimidating, but she's so warm and loving at the same time that, like, I mean, I'm not, nowhere near a part of the Stormers, but obviously as a huge fan and as someone running a show that obviously opens the door and welcomes all of you guys in at any time to have the chat, she's organized almost everything for us. So when I told her you were coming on, her message is so funny. She's like, oh, my boy, he's so sweet, you'll love him. He's like goes on. And that's just of me saying he's coming on the show.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask, is he a nice guy? Is he friendly? Is he warm? Whatever. She's just off the bat. She reps the crap out of everyone in that team. And we actually asked her the question because Kitsy being obviously captain of the Stormers and the head of the Stormers, but he's also in the SA squad.
Yeah.
So I said to Amy, well, do you kind of take the motherly role in the SA squad? And she said, nope, because there's one, I think maybe two wives that are older than her. So there's literally a ranking order of like who's the mom of the team, and she's not yet the mom of the SA team. She's only the mom of the Stormers team. Yeah. So you guys are all her children. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Cade, I'm the favourite of Amy.
Of course.
And Kitsy keeps on saying Cade is his favourite, but I know deep down
He's just trying to even the playing field,
because he was in Pole Roos, Cade was in Pole Roos, Amy was in Pole Girls, I was in Pole Boys. So
yeah.
but I know Kitsy really knows I'm the favourite.
No, of course. Yeah. He does that little wink behind the shoulder, when no one's looking. Yeah. We'll just let him believe that for now. So coming out of Pole Boys, it's actually cool you bring that up because there's such a high level of rugby at that level in terms of schoolboy rugby. Jumping from that into provincial rugby and then into international, there's so many people in South Africa trying to achieve the same thing that you're busy doing. And what's so great about this conversation is that we're catching you right at the forefront of something very big. So up until now, you've obviously impressed everyone immensely. And every division, if I can call it, you've played in, everyone's been impressed by you. Looking back at Pole Boys, what was that like for you, playing at that level? Were you playing in the headspace of, I'm going to be a professional, I want to be a professional, and how different is that from then getting to provincial level?
It's funny, like if you take your grade 11 year, I started out as second team, didn't play first team, and it's always been a struggle and a battle to kind of make it. I mean, the only reason I started playing for the first team was there was an injury at flank.
Really?
I started playing, yeah. But I mean, the whole first team was only matrics when I was grade 11, and we were like 2 or 3 guys, I think 4, who were grade 11 who played first team, and it was just because of injuries. So it's like if those injuries never happened, we would have played second team.
Yeah.
That whole year, and but always when I was grade 10, like before big things like Grand Como and inter schools, I broke an arm. Grade 11, I broke a leg the exact same time. And so all these like stupid little like setbacks and battles. Luckily in the trick nothing happened, and everything went well. And then went to the Sharks first year and didn't get picked for junior box. So that's obviously like another setback.
Yeah.
And then had a good season with the Sharks under 21 side, and then after that I was in the Super Rugby squad. And then 2020, like I probably would have gotten a game or so, hopefully, but then COVID struck obviously, and everything shut down. And then I went back to the Sharks, and I just wasn't playing anywhere and not making a squad and stuff. And like I felt I was good enough, and but it's a difficult conversation to have with a coach. I mean, don't want to sound cocky and say, listen, play me, I'm good enough, so you kind of put yourself out there. But I felt I could, but I think it had to happen. So to kind of find that hunger again and just kind of enjoy it again, because I was prepared to go back home and just study at Stellenbosch at Maltese, because like I'm big on family, and I love my family, my mom, dad, and my brother and my sister. And I've got good friends here as well.
Yeah.
So for me, I was even, because my agent asked me what it's going through your head. I said I'll even go play varsity rugby. Like I'm just want to go home, because if I'm not playing in a place and I don't enjoy, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the Sharks and obviously the whole setup, but I didn't enjoy things outside of rugby because I was studying online, so it wasn't like university I can go to meet new people.
Yeah.
And basically all the people your age there are either at Marty's or Tikkies, or so they don't study there because the only university there is varsity college, and not everyone goes there. People want to go to big universities, so
I want to leave and come here.
So there's this massive age gap between like people coming back who are like 25, 26 and you're 19. So it's and but then luckily I came back home on a trial at the Stormers, not even a contract or anything. And the initial, then it turned into a loan, which was a 9-month loan, and then if the Stormers don't offer me anything in the first month, I'll go back to the Sharks. And then literally in the first month, the Stormers actually offered something I could stay home. So yeah, like, and everything happened by chance. I started playing because there was an injury at the Stormers on 8th man. Like, so a lot of things happened by chance and just luck.
Chance, blessing, luck, hard work, you know, like to sit in a space where you're unhappy, and again, it doesn't reflect on the Sharks. Sharks are a great squad, but to sit in a place where you're lonely like that, you know, and you're away from home, you're young, you've got all this excitement and, you know, all this drive to perform well at the thing you love, but the environment around what you love is so miserable that how do you ever keep focus on this, you know, that trajectory of achieving this big goal? So you jump from Sharks to Stormers. Was that where the position move happened as well to 8th man?
So I've always been at 8.
Okay.
And but I like jumped around between 7 and 8. But in my heart, like I've always.
Is 8 where your heart's at?
Yeah, and my mom is also like when I ever play outside of 8, she gets pissed off. She's like, no, you're 8, you should play 8.
Really?
Yeah, my mom is like very adamant about that. But yeah, it just shows how much they support me and stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's cool, man.
Yeah, then at the Stormers and stuff, the thing was like obviously you had this kind of predisposition way of thinking of playing in the Shark setup.
Yeah.
When I got to the Stormers, I just had this mental thing of just kind of play rugby and do what you do.
Yeah.
And they liked it, obviously, and stuff, and enjoyed it. And the players that were there also were those type of players, so it fitted in well and it worked well. And I started enjoying rugby, and it was cool for me because I was so used to 2 years going to training, going back on your own and stuff. And now after training, I went to my family after training.
See, that's so sick.
Yeah, it was like the weirdest thing. And the weekends usually, I hated a weekend because I would go bodyboard and stuff, but that's also as much as you can do.
Exactly.
And then you also get bored. And now we can go for lunch with my family, or I can just go right home, or see my best friend. Or so it's like the balance was much more better than it was in Durban because of just circumstance and everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I enjoy about being able to play back home.
How does I want to go back to you saying your mom, that's such a cool story of your mom being the one to say like, no, you play there. I love that. Have your family been, because obviously you did Craven Week in Matric, you did a Craven Week when you were much younger as well, so you were always performing at this really high level. Were your family aware of that from young and kind of watching you from the outside going, this kid's going places, like that's the route for him? Or was it Evan loves playing rugby, let's see what happens, maybe and if?
I think my dad always had the belief in me. But my mom would always come and say, listen, leave. You can stop playing rugby, you can do what you want, I'll still love you, I don't care about all these other things. I love you for you. And that's like that's special because, and my dad's the same, my brother and my sister, like, even though like they were so supportive of me coming home and maybe not playing, they're like, come home, It's fine. You gave it a shot. That's fine. Let's rather see if we can make it work here.
Yeah.
So they weren't like, no, you got to stick it out, and they could see I wasn't happy. And it's obviously a big, like, not a mental like battle, but like this thing of, are you actually checking out? Or are you not tough enough to stick it out and stuff? But I know when something is tough and when something's not like good and not fun.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good, it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
And she's so supportive, and after games that I feel I didn't play well, or if I'm irritated with something, like she's always a good soundboard, and
that's so cool.
And my dad, same with my dad, and he's very invested and very emotional about it. So my mom is more clear-headed about it, but I think my dad kind of thought so. But I've always just enjoyed rugby, and I did athletics at school as well and stuff. Shot and discus, that was also fun for me. Like when I was younger, I think maybe I'll do shot and discus overseas in America or whatever. Like
really?
I thought, and so I've always enjoyed sport. But when I was about grade 10 and stuff, I was like, this rugby thing is cool.
It's going that direction.
Yeah,
for
I've
you.
always enjoyed it and loved it. So that's why I kind of went so hard on it.
You known on the field for being very physical, but at the same time being incredibly fast. And there was a review that I was reading earlier this afternoon just to kind of, prep some research, and the review was saying whenever Roos runs on the field, he goes from a nice guy to an absolute warrior, and it's almost like he takes the game personally, because every tackle, I get goosebumps, every tackle, your goal is to win that one tackle as well as the game, but you can see that you're not going to go to ground until you know in your head you've won that. So everything's a personal tick for you, or at least it seems so. Is that a choice of playing? Is that always how you've played, with this like intense physicality? Or is that something that gets bred into our players, like at teams like the Sharks? Like I know the Bulls are known for being super hardcore physically. Is that you as an individual that chooses to play that way? Or is it something that's bred and taught?
Yes, I hate losing. Really.
There's the answer right there. That's the answer.
I hate losing, and it's like, I always say rugby, it's like 80 minutes where you can kind of, it's brutal violence, legalized brutal violence. And I mean, I'm a guy, I enjoy the physical aspect, of course. And like it's not like it feels like if I lose a physical conversation, I feel like I take it very personally. Like it feels like my character is taking a shot. And because one coach always says, especially defending mauls, imagine behind the try line, your family's there, and if the Oaks score a try, they kill your family. Like that's how the coach kind of. And I hate losing, and I want to be better than other people. It sounds cocky, I don't.
No, it doesn't.
I just want to be the best kind of player that I can be, and keep on getting better and learning from people and stuff. And but I must say, a lot of people like always come as typical rugby ones, want to give me advice how to play and stuff. And I appreciate
really?
it. And but when people tell me you have to be this like super nice guy on the field and stuff, I just don't understand it, because it's such it's a collision. It's a physical game. It's a collision game, and you don't win a game by being nice.
No.
Don't be a dick, but I mean just like be physical, and in the game and between two whistles and stuff, you don't have to. But I believe like you can't play rugby with that kind of mindset.
Yeah, and that's what's so admirable in a sport like rugby. So we asked Kitsy the same question in terms of the headspace he's in on a field and the headspace he's in once he walks off. And it was the game when we played Australia, and this is going to be the second episode I've said this in. I cannot stand Nick White. It's out there. It's the second time I've said it. Cool. If I ever see him in person, he'd probably smack the shit out of me, but it is what it is. So
I don't think so.
Yes, thank you, Evan Roos. So I don't dig the oak. And there was in that game when he pushed Sia Khaleesi over, the whole country was just like, never step foot in this country ever again, because like it's Sia Khaleesi, we love him. And that breakup fight happened with Itzebeth, and I'm convinced he would have taken out every player of the team by himself, right?
I think it,
Yeah, 100%. but you could see you could see aggression, but you could see the passion and what it means to these players. But shortly after, a video had come out of everyone having beers together in the changing room.
Yeah.
I said to Kitsy, I was like, how does that, like, you could see in his face that he wanted to really fucking hurt the soak.
Yeah.
20 minutes later, they're having beers together. And I was like, how do you learn to flip that switch? Is it something you learn through playing over time, or is it a personality trait? And he said to me, dude, every player on the team obviously has their own way of dealing with it. And, some it takes longer than others. But there's that level of respect as well.
Yeah.
Which I have to, tip my hats to you guys, because South Africa plays very physical rugby. So I can imagine the amount of throwback you get given from other players. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not nice to be smacked around the field, which when you play South Africa is what happens, right? And now you've got to be nice to these guys that are throwing you around the field. Have you seen that moving into SA rugby now, that it's become more of a public image, I have to manage the way I behave on and off the field, or they open free to like play the way you play hard and physical, take them out, shake hands afterwards and walk away?
That was the thing, especially when I started out, because I was young, playing against all these older guys, and you kind of have to, I still have to prove myself. It's a never-ending battle, and I don't want to stand back. Older guys shove me around. I'm gonna take that. That's shit. So
Yes.
And I won't be ridiculous about it. But when a guy pushes me, I'm not gonna stand there and say, "Oh, nice, push me again." I'm gonna do something about it. And most of the time I've gotten this so much. This isn't so much where. Like at the box and stuff, a good example, Jan Goosen, we had beers after the last game, the England game, and he sat next to me and he's like, listen, like, obviously we played against each other throughout the season and stuff, and I honestly thought you was a massive dick, because like, I don't like you
really
on the field, and like, you're just a dick, and I don't like you, but as soon as I met you and started training with you, you're actually not bad, you're actually a cool guy.
Like, oh, thanks.
And it's not the first time I've gotten there, like people that like I usually play against or haven't met and stuff, like usually don't like me at all, and then as soon as I get to know people, like, oh, you're not that bad.
You're not that bad, oh, thanks.
I was obviously not aware of people thinking that about me,
yeah.
But then I go watch my games and stuff, like maybe it makes sense. But yeah, that's the thing, like your personality on the field and off the field.
Yeah.
Some guys can do it. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah. But it's cool to see that other players can look at you and then make that differentiation in it. So I have to bring it up because a lot of people have been asking you. There's a lot of like misinterpretation of your relationship with Dwayne Vermeulen.
Yeah.
Everyone's been trying to make it this like beef thing. I don't understand why. Like I haven't found any research on like this and this happened and that's why. Like he's an incredible player. You're a younger incredible player coming up, wanting to achieve things that he achieves, and so I see it as like you're stepping into the shoes for South Africa as eighth man and kind of taking this role. Why is everyone seeing it the other way around?
I don't know. I think the media is going to create sensation because he sent me a message before the test against England, and he sent me a message when I was on tour as well, and he just said like this old man will always support you. Like,
sweet man.
And before the test against England, he sent me.
See, that's so.
No, because I want to like show people there's no beef.
Yeah. No, but that's also why I wanted to ask you the question, I know so carefully, in terms of a lot of the interviews that I watched you speak in with Supersport, with podcasts, with that kind of stuff, people don't give you the space to talk about it. So like the fact that you have a message and we can say like, everyone shut up about the beef.
Yeah.
Because there's never beef between South African players. Like that's never been a thing. We're not that kind of people, So it's cool that we clear it. We
shut
up
like
about it.
Quite translated roughly. Just enjoy today, enjoy the opportunity, and just play your game. Nothing special is needed. It'll come naturally, and I'll check you. Enjoy. So,
that's so sick.
I mean, so like, and we have that understanding, and I want to learn so much from it. I mean, I think people like I don't think they understand the amount of experience he has and
Yeah.
the insane quality play he is. And I look up to him. I mean, I have a photo of him when I was with him when I was so small.
Really?
And yeah, I've been watching him ever since. I mean, he's like the ideal like South African eighth man. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to
Yeah.
go up to him? So honestly, I don't understand people. I get pissed off when people like in the shower room in the gym or in the saunas or whatever, people start like talking shit about it, and I'll just tell them,
Really?
listen.
Is it that common?
Yeah, I was like, no, you should play there and there. And I'll tell them, listen, that's my teammate, so I don't think you should
Yeah.
like badmouth him in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't badmouth your work colleague or whatever.
No,
it can be.
exactly.
So please don't
Yeah.
have like deliver your opinions. You have every right to your opinion, but don't.
You don't have to say it.
Yeah, don't say it, especially to people who play with these players.
Yeah.
Say it to your mates or your wife or your brother or sister, whatever. But don't say it to me because it's my teammate. It's personal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hate it when people like, especially the Africans, badmouth their own players.
I don't
They don't know
understand
what
that.
we go through at all.
Yeah.
At all. And these documentaries help, but it's still like I don't think they understand what we go through and the reasoning why we do certain things and stuff. So yeah, and at the same time, you've got to keep a good face.
For sure, but it's also like, you know, you got to keep a good face, but in that situation, the problem's not with you. The problem is with, you know, like, again, like you said, have an opinion, sick.
Yeah.
But to go to the person that's dedicated their life to play the sport and for their country and be like, hey, listen, by the way, I work in like accounting, but what you should actually do on Saturday. It's like, okay, cool, dude. Like, please continue. Like, I don't understand that. And it's probably now playing for South Africa and everything, that's also probably become an aspect of your life that must be quite a trip. You know, that now people feel entitled to having an opinion on the way that you do your job.
Yeah, and it's like, and what you do, and like the other, like you can't do, like you gotta kind of think, and it's irritating because you gotta think what you do. Like you can't like have a beer, yes, but if you take a photo, like beer's gotta
Hide the beer.
Hide the beer. And,
If you're tired of wearing like really crappy, make your fingers go green jewelry, head over to Clocks and Colors for something unique and special. Clocks and Colors are based out of Toronto, Canada. They specialize in detailed, handmade 925 sterling silver accessories. They also offer other products like handmade leather hats and homeware goods. Go to the link below to claim your discount with Clocks and Colors. If you're looking for some high-end quality tees, some quality clothing, use code Storytime below to claim yours with Saints and Sinners. We want to thank Saints and Sinners for this one. Great apparel. Kitted us out. Go get yourself kitted out too.
like the other nights in Browse and Paul, my mates are in a band and they were like the show, like the pre-show for Kurt Darren.
Sick.
Yeah, and I was with Kurt Darren on Talks and Chops like beginning early last year, and we saw each other and chatted, had a drink and stuff, and then he has a song called "He's a Legend," and
cool.
he stopped the show and I called me on stage, and it was like sweet and it's a nice gesture.
That's
And it was
cool.
like fun and everything, and then obviously like people took videos, but like not drunk, whatever, just enjoying.
Yeah.
And then like some media guys like said, yeah, but is his rib really broken because he's on stage with Kurt Darren?
Really, they jumped on it that quickly.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And then my mom, I went to mom and I was like, listen, I don't know why people. So
Yeah.
it's actually so fun, like, and it's cool. Like this, like he's a South African legend.
He's a
Kurt
legend,
Darren.
yeah.
Like, who doesn't know Kurt Darren? And he's like asked you to jump on stage and singing that song. And after a while, my best friend was with me on stage, and he has nothing to do with rugby or whatever. He's just
But
my
he's
best
there,
mate, but he's on
exactly.
stage with me and he's enjoying it as well.
That's so sick.
And then like luckily it didn't like make major news, but like some media guys I don't know just called me and said, listen, some guys are thinking of, and I was just listen, I can't say what you put out there and stuff, but it's so innocent. It's just
Like, put out whatever you want, but it's when media becomes just a way of getting attention, just a way of garnering attention. They'll say whatever needs to be said, and when it picks up on something like that, it loses all sense of truthfulness to it.
Yeah.
It just becomes splash out words, get attention, make this huge headline, and see what happens with it. And South African celebrities, if I can call, are all stemmed in sport because sport's so important to us. That sometimes I feel media people don't realize the impact that those kind of articles have, you know, because it drives your fan base, and because the fan base is so passionate about rugby, they all directly affect each other. And at the end of the day, what we're trying to do, one is win another World Cup, which I actually think we're going to do next year. It's going to be amazing. But yeah, there we go. Shout out. We're definitely going to get that right. I'm so stoked for it. And I just want to see everyone supporting each other. Like, you know, like you said, you've got a photo when you were this big with Glenn from England. That's your whole life watching rugby. And now you're on the field as well, which is insane. Yeah. But it's just important to show a sense of support. So, looking at your first time running out for SA, can you explain that headspace of you've now been chosen for this, you're about to run out and represent your country, which, like, you know, you're thinking your mom and dad, your family, you're a family guy, you're thinking of all your friends at home. What headspace were you in before running out onto the field?
On the way in Bloem, on the way to the stadium, obviously all the people outside and stuff, and knowing that you were one of those people on the sidewalk crying, and looking at the bus, and now you're actually sitting in the bus, I started crying in the bus because I mean, it's like, I get goosebumps of it now because I mean, I told my dad, listen, I'm a Springbok. Like, when did this happen?
That's so sick, though.
And like, my friend was at my friend, best friend, who's going to be my housemate now, and he's like, listen, do you have one of your jerseys? I was like, have I not showed you? He's like, no. Like, no, when I got my jersey, I'm like, listen, feel it, and it's
so cool.
Yeah, and because me and him played rugby together from school, and like, we had the dreams together and everything, so it's special that I can share it with him. And but as soon as I went on to warm up and stuff, it kind of, I just calmed down because like, I'm on the field and I enjoy being on the field and sitting like that. I know what to do there. Yeah. And like in the corner where I warmed up, my family was sitting right there. So
that's dope.
I saw them sitting there before them, and so I knew it. And then I was calm. I just do my thing. Yeah. And stuff. So. But yeah, I was super emotional on the way there. Yeah. And getting capped afterwards and stuff. And your family's there as well. Yeah. And it's special. It's something I'll remember forever.
Yeah. And so it was your first time running out was the second test against Wales. Yeah. Was the England game straight after, or was there one in the middle?
Shit, so it was the first, so it was that test, and then the third Wales test I didn't play. Then the whole of the Rugby Championship I didn't play. And then got invited to tour end of year, and then was the Ireland game, the France game, and I only played the Italy game off the bench, and then my second start ever was against England. Yeah.
So far into your caps for South Africa, running out, playing against Wales, Italy, and then England, which of the three for you was the most physically taxing, being on that field against the opposition?
England.
Really?
Big. Obviously, like the first 10 minutes, I broke my rib cartilage and stuff. So, like, just that in itself shows you it was a physical game. But obviously, and then going off later the game, and not for the rib, just because I knew I don't want to go off. Obviously, because you're playing for your country and it's England on Twickenham, there's no way I'm going off. And secondly, something in my head told me, listen, if you go off now, it's an injury replacement. You can't go back on. If you go off as a tactical, something might happen, and then something did happen. See, I got a concussion or HIA, then I had to go back on the last 10 minutes. So I'm happy, and I won't do it. It's not in my nature. I didn't go off for that, because if I had to go off as an injury, I wouldn't be able to go back on. And luckily, I just stuck it through, went off as a tactical sub, and then I got a concussion, and I had to go back on again. And but that was tough. Obviously, still feeling the rib now.
Yes.
But worth it.
Oh, 100%.
I'm taking them so.
Also, it's badass getting an injury like that and just staying on because you can. That's fire. Can you feel the different vibe? Because I know each team, I don't know, maybe this is more of a personal perspective I have, but every team that we play obviously have a different attitude towards South Africa and towards the game of rugby. Can you feel the different vibe playing England, playing Wales? Is there like a different response from these teams towards us as South Africa?
I don't know, think what I'm going to say now. I think some overseas countries think we're stupid.
Really?
Like we're these dumb, arrogant, not like these dumb big players who just don't know the rules of the game and stuff. But we actually spend so much time studying the game, and the thing is, we big physical guys, and we're going to play toward our strength. It's just the way we are. New Zealand have their type of way of playing, they play towards their strength. Each country has their own strength and way of playing, and they play towards that. We're just the country who's got big guys, physical guys who like to run at people, and that's just how we are. And
we like to run at people. Yeah, pretty much.
And I think people tend to, especially other countries, tend to think we like stupid and dumb and don't know the rules of rugby and stuff. And like everyone has a different accent. We've got thick Afrikaans accents. We've got accents from people who are from the country, and local accents. People that speak different languages and stuff. So they think like we're stupid. We don't know how to speak English, and these guys who speak this very eloquent English, and they come from royalness and all that shit. I think they're smarter than us. No, honestly, and it's obviously irritating.
I can imagine, yeah.
And we're not. We actually we actually study the game, and we want to get better at it. And but especially like within the ERC, it's all against all these English countries, so it kind of feels the same. And stuff. It was my first time against an English team. Because I haven't played European Cups, I haven't played against the Prem teams, and my first time was against the England national team. But everything happened so quickly there, and it's so intense. I didn't even get time to talk to one of the guys. So but I just as I just said, like the kind of, how can I say this? What people think about us, it's quite irritating for us because it's not true.
We saw that. Jess and I actually spoke a lot about it. We released the episode with Drickus du Plessis just before his fight, and in promoting it and in showing support, for me personally and for all of us personally, it's a huge deal that there's a South African within the UFC that's performing as well as he is, and he's got every right to be there and deserves to be there, and he deserves to get a shot for the title as well. I truly believe that. And so we were on the UFC pages commenting, saying like, go South Africa, like we're a different breed, like we're strong people, we're like making all these comments, and the retaliation from people was disgusting.
Oh, really?
Like the comments that were just like condescending, and these like racist remarks, and it was horrendous. And it got to a point where I was sitting with my phone every 15 minutes refreshing the page to see like who else is going to say something horrible, you know. And he then won the fight, and I'm very petty, so I went back and just commented with South African flags on every single comment, and just replied like, how does it feel to be wrong? How does it feel to be wrong? How does it feel to be wrong? And no one replies to it. And it shows you how some people just choose to behave. Some people, when they have their chance to take a shot, take it, and when the tables turn, suddenly they're very quiet. And there's just people like that, you know. It's the same people that feel like they can tell you how to play the game. The same people that purely just because you're South African will take a shot at something, you know. Oh, you're from a third world country. Oh, you have an accent, so you know, like they love doing that to us. So it's fine. We'll just win another World Cup, and then everyone can shut up again. So on the World Cup, how are you feeling going into the year leading up to that? It's a huge deal, but I feel like the team's pretty well ready for it.
Oh, it's going to be tough to make it. I think they only take like 32 or 33 guys. So just to make a training squad is like massive. So we'll see how it pans out. If it happens, if it doesn't happen, it's fine. If it happens, it happens. I always believe everything happens for a reason. But I'm going to give it my full shot. With the Stormers obviously first, and all the games in. If that option does present itself, I'll obviously give my everything. If I'm able to represent my country again and stuff. But it would be pretty special being part of it. I mean, last time I watched them, I was 19, sitting at a bar, thinking shit, I'll play there one day. And you kind of feel guilty because now you're drinking a beer and watching. There's like, shit, but those guys are actually winning this World Cup for the country. Should you be drinking a beer, or should you be running, getting fit?
It starts messing with you.
Yeah, but when they won it, I was like, forget that, we're gonna.
Now we can celebrate.
And celebrate, and But yeah, so if it does happen, it happens. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't. But it would be pretty special if it does happen.
Well, everyone's very excited to see you out on the field for it. You're such an impact player, it's incredible. I was obviously watching a lot of your highlights for Stormers when you were younger, and there was like your 50-meter try, which was insane.
Yeah.
And then it's hectic, eh? And then there was an entire highlight reel of you just offhanding people, and I watched it 3 times. It's like, it was like 5 minutes 30 seconds, and it's just this like badass music in the background. You're just handing people off, and I have to ask the question, just in terms of training, because you've become so admirable for your power on the ball in carrying, but also speed. Other kids want to do what you're doing right now in terms of making it for provincial squad, making it for SA squad. What would your suggestions to them be that they can tweak and adapt their training to develop that sense of power or speed? Or is there something specific to the way you do it that you would suggest to others that you could help them out with?
Obviously, like I was heavy on doing like sprints. I've trained trained with the athletes at school, like sprints, the 100 meter and 200 meter athletes. I actually trained with them. And the Olympic lifts. I was like quite into CrossFit at a stage, so snatches and clean and jerks and those stuff like really help the speed. I don't think people
realize that. Yeah.
And functional training, like it's a funny thing. Like people always ask me what do you do and stuff, and it's so hard. Like because in season you just kind of gym to maintain.
Yeah.
And you can't like burn your legs because you got to train in the afternoon and stuff. So it's like I haven't had a pre-season in a while, so we have like a proper leg session, a proper upper body session, and stuff. But I always just say like sprints, jumps, and Olympic lifts for speed, especially.
Yeah.
And obviously wherever you are, the person, the SLC in charge will have like a specific program that is accustomed to what the players or the athlete needs and stuff. So I do a lot of explosive stuff, and I do enjoy a little, like classic bodybuilding, gym and stuff in my time.
Of course.
I just physically enjoy gymming and stuff. It's quite fun for me.
Yeah.
And like for athletes in the book, it's just those 3 things: sprints, jumps, and Olympic lifts.
Yeah. If we were to go hit a workout together, what would be your choice of workout to do together?
So typical, probably like chest and back.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Greenpoint diversion, I love it. We usually train it with the Stormers.
Oh, sick.
Oaks love it. The guys enjoy it so much.
Yeah,
Especially all the
that's
single
so
guys.
cool.
I love jumping that Greenpoint version.
Yeah, there's like lots of potential in that gym apparently.
Yeah. But besides that, just the characters, the type of people.
Oh yes.
It's like a zoo. So I love just sitting and watching there and have a smoothie on upstairs, just like look at
just watch people.
It's my favorite pastime. Because I get there early, finish my program quick, and then me and JJ usually just sit and just watch and look at all these people.
That's so sick.
And it's so funny. I enjoy it so much.
Yeah. There was a time I was there. There was a guy, super spray tan, massive. He must have been 120, high 120s, huge guy, and he had a female personal trainer with him. And he was doing shoulder raises in the mirror, crying. And it was my first time going to Greenpoint Gym. So I'm sitting on the bench next to him and I'm watching this, trying to figure this whole thing out. He's crying, but like angry. He's like upset about this. And I'm like, maybe he's on diet and he's just like really carb depleted and kind of going through the motions. And he drops the dumbbells and turns to her and he's like, I don't look good enough. I just don't. And he's crying, just like hailing over this. I look like shit, I just don't. And she's like, it's okay, pick them up, do another set, you'll be fine. And I was like,
Goodness.
I think you're a little too far in the deep end right now, brother.
Yeah.
Like, everything will be okay.
Yeah.
So we've seen some hectic characters there. Very, very dedicated crowd of people in terms of fitness and training. Very dedicated to what they do. Also, shout out to JJ Kutsia, he's the sweetest dude. When I went to the URC, when we went to Jerry's to celebrate, he straight away was so friendly, introduced me to everyone. He's actually a huge Clocks and Colours fan.
He always shows me all these things and buys it and stuff. We're roommates, so we spend a lot of time together. Flip. He shows me he's going to buy this and this and this. I'm like, wow, that's cool. Then he shows me this and coffee as well. It's a coffee nut.
Oh, really?
He's a coffee nut. I think he's worse than I am. So, And our favourite pastime is on tour is just coffee shops.
Really?
We have this app, Best Coffee, and where we are, like
Pull in there,
and then it just shows like the best coffee shops around the area where you live, and we just more coffee, and we play a late game on a Saturday, like 5 o'clock game. We wake up the morning before breakfast, we walk, go get a coffee.
That's so sick.
Yeah, no, I love it because you can't sit in the hotel all day.
Especially is this in Stellenbosch?
So Stellenbosch, if we tour overseas and stuff, if we play here at Cape Town Stadium, the bootleggers just there, we just stop our bootleggers
Pull in
quickly,
there,
get a
yeah.
coffee, and then captains as well. We have like captains that's me, Ruan Nel, Damien, Katsi.
Yes.
Always have a breakfast, captains, yeah, at bootleggers and
Lekker, yeah.
before and coffee and stuff and just chats and stuff before practice.
That's so sick.
Enjoy it.
I wanna wrap up our chat with I had like 1 or 2 questions in the end here, mostly about Stormers players. You've mentioned some of them within interviews a few times, and it's just so dope to hear players talking about each other and like how much you guys admire and appreciate each other. I love it. So I've given everyone a title. So Stephen Kitsoff as the captain and his dad role, what would you say on Kitsy? I know we've spoken on him. What would be your like statement to Kitsy?
As in like a one-liner or just like
like a brief, like his bio, like his Instagram bio for like who he is in the team, like.
Like Stephen Kitsoff, I love my wife, scrums and beers. Like,
There we go. That's perfect. That's sick.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone drink that many Castle Lights. That was perfect. We're gonna tell kids, you make that your bio, dude.
Yeah.
Love my wife, scrums and beer. That's a sick one. You've spoken on Damian Willemse and his work rate and how his performance for South Africa recently has been incredible as well. What would be your line to him on his work rate that he has become now renowned for?
It's just like the way he trains, like, don't stop, and like also don't stop influencing guys around you to also work like that, because he does have a massive influence.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. People love Willemse. Whenever we mention the podcast, people are like, you got to bring Willemse as well. He's such a sweet oak.
Yeah.
Manny Libok with the quick feet. What would be your one-liner Instagram for him?
Marnie the General, just.
Oh, there we go. That was the easy one.
Oh, like because I had on the interview the other day, like he has to take that general role in the team. Yeah, he does it so well.
He does.
Yeah, he likes very adamant what he wants.
Yeah.
And he lets you know if you screw up, he lets you know.
Really?
So, yeah, but it's good. Like otherwise, you don't know.
That's sick.
You want him to laugh, just tells you what to do. Like,
I saw in interviews he's like comes across quite like quiet and serious. But whenever we score a try, then you see a different side of him.
Yeah.
He's like super stoked about it. I love that. Money the General. Dion Fourie, it's one of my dad's favourite players because he's such a workhorse. I said, Dion Fourie, incredibly tough player, does the hard, dirty work, in brackets, tough. I wrote tough twice for him. What would be your one-liner for Dion Fourie?
personally,
Yeah.
like older brother, because
Sick.
at the box we room together. The oldest,
Cool,
the youngest, one of the youngest guys
okay.
room together. So he's like an older brother to me. Like it's the weirdest thing. Like, because I go in, I was like, shit, he's gonna be my roommate.
Yeah.
And me and Dion were roommates, and it was like after the URC final. And since then, if we like, they put us in other rooms. And I go to Manchester, listen, can we shop back?
That's so cool.
Yeah, so, and like the guys like, fuck, I was like, oudsters and youngsters, wat gaan nie aan? Like, people don't seem to understand, like, we want a room together.
Yeah.
And like, I couldn't, like, there's no other person I'd rather room with in the box is Dion. Like, I enjoy him so much.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Like every time you watch him play, he either leaves with stitches, a broken something, blood somewhere, a blue eye. Like
Yeah.
he gets down and dirty in a game, and it's incredible to watch. Like
No, it's something to aspire to.
yeah, he's so good. When we were at the URC celebration, I phoned my dad because it's like I'm a huge rugby fan. So I phoned my dad, and I've already had like anywhere between 4 and 25 beers in that spectrum. I phoned him like, Dad, and he's like, why are you phoning me while you're there? I was like, because now we're here together. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, sure.
So I was like, do you want to say hi to anyone? He's like, dude, take the phone straight to Dion Fourie. I gotta go. So I take the phone to Dion. I'm like, Dion, hi, I don't know who I am. Like, hi, you gotta meet my dad though. And he's like, okay. And I hand the phone to Dion. And my dad straight away is like, dude, you are one hard-working motherfucker. Like, you get down and dirty, dude. He's just like, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was so cool to see. Such a gangster, dude. Siabela Sonatla as a dancer as well as an incredible player. Everyone talks about his dancing. I've seen his dancing firsthand as well. Dude goes off. He's got that like quick
rhythm
vibe to him. What would be his Instagram one-liner?
Vibes.
There we go, with like 4 Z's at the end.
Vibes.
Here we go.
The dancing emoji.
Yeah, we're gonna tell him. We're gonna tell Siabela Sonatla, change that bio, dude. I think the best is Stephen Kitsy. I love my wife, scrums, and beer. That's the best sum up of an individual I've heard so far. That's lekker, man. Well, Evan, thank you so much for coming in, man. It's such a lekker chat with you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see you perform for UFC and take another one, as well as see you run up for the World Cup squad. Everyone's super excited to see you do that. So up until now, dude, what a life, what a career, what a change from Durban to Cape Town. Cape Town's officially better than Durban. There we go. We all know that. That's an easy one. Jar, thank you for coming in, telling your story, and sharing the time with us, man. We all appreciate it. It's been sick.
As I said, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man.
Thanks, man.
Fuck yes. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.